called Prophesying Our Future.
Oh, okay.
The scripture is Job 22:28. New King James says, "You will also declare a thing, and it will be established for you." Some years ago, a relative of mine was involved in an accident that threatened to land him in prison. While we waited for the legal process to be accomplished, I went around telling people that if my loved one had to go to jail, I would have a nervous breakdown. I made the statement half jokingly, but part of me believed it. As it turned out, my relative was sentenced to prison, and within a year's time, my mental health broke down to the point where I needed tranquilizers, antidepressants, and psychiatric care just to cope.
I remember hearing that.
Did I read this from everything?
No,
okay.
No, it was at church, I think.
The Lord brought this accident to my remembrance. The Lord brought the incident to my remembrance recently to highlight the impact of my words and the impact they can have on my future. I was not a committed Christian at the time, and I had no working knowledge of the Bible. No one ever told me that my words have authority in this earthly realm, and that the words I speak over myself can have awesome consequences. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they who indulge in it shall eat the fruit of it, for death or for life." I've heard some preaching that warns that we can literally prophesy our futures to some extent. I also learned that some well-respected ministers of the gospel believe that Mark 11:23 can be taken in a negative sense as well as in a positive one. In this case, Jesus says that whosoever believes that those things he says will come to pass, he will have whatever he says. What if it's true that this principle can work in a negative sense? Well, if so, then I shouldn't wonder why I actually did have a mental health problem after voicing that I expected to have them. Job 22:28 says, "You will also declare a thing, and it will be established for you." Verses like these have given me a holy fear concerning the words I speak over my life and the lives of others. Sometimes I can't help wondering how I might have reacted to the same incident if it occurred after I became devoted to the Lord and His Word. I'd like to think that I might have had an attitude that said, "Yes, this will be hard to deal with at first, but God has promised to stick with me through the difficult times, and He will see me through it." I know now that when we and others speak negative things over our lives, they're not from God, but from our own fleshly attitudes or from Satan himself. And in these cases, Jeremiah 23:16 would apply. And it says, "They speak a vision of their own heart, not from the mouth of the Lord." I know this without a doubt because God says, "I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." When negative circumstances threaten in our lives, we don't have to expect to fall apart or to experience dark times. We don't have to anticipate being left without hope. We can cling to our God and His precious promises of supernatural assistance in our times of need. And we can confidently declare with the psalmist, "God is our refuge and strength, and ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea." Okay, here's the prayer. Pray with me. Lord, give me a keen awareness.
Lord, give me a keen awareness
And a holy fear of how my words
and a holy fear of my words.
and my attitudes can impact my future.
And my attitudes can impact my future.
Teach me how to speak words of life.
Teach me how to speak words of life
And hope over my own life
and hope over my own life
and those of others.
and those who have others.
When troubles threaten to overwhelm me,
When troubles threaten to overwhelm me,
remind me that with you by my side,
remind me that with you by my side,
I never need to expect to fail or fall.
I never need to expect to fail or fall.
Thank you for planning a future
Thank you for planning a future
filled with hope and good things for me.
filled with hope and good things for me.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus'
And
name,
everybody say,
amen. Break.
that was not good. It was, actually.